Today we're talking about the July 16th, 2024 Olympia City Council meeting. And I would say the theme for the meeting was downtown vibrancy.
Sure was. This is Council in 10.
For the record, I'm Kelly Purse-Brossett.
And I'm Susan Grisham.
If this is your first time tuning into Council in 10, this is our attempt to recap the council meeting from the night before in under 10 minutes.
And if you're too busy deciding what you're going to eat at Lake Fair this week to watch an entire meeting, Council in 10 is the show for you.
All right, let's do it. Susan, hit the button. Boom. Okay, so we opened, as always, with roll call. We were a couple of council members down. Council member Partially was excused, as was Council member Cooper. But the mayor did make an important announcement to the community following the weekend shooting attempt on Donald Trump. The mayor took the opportunity to condemn political violence and particularly the hateful rhetoric that leads to political violence. And he told the community that fish rots from the head. And a lot of this really hateful speech and violent rhetoric is happening at the national level, and it's creeping down into the local level, into our communities. So we wanted to speak out about that.
Mm-hmm. And then we moved on to the approval of the agenda, easy peasy, and then public comment.
Yep. Well, we had public special recognition.
Oh, that's right. I messed up. Got in the wrong order.
That's okay.
Thank you for correcting me.
It was a special recognition.
Yes. Very special. So we were recognizing National Parks and Recreation Month, which is July. Mm-hmm. And so the theme this year is Where You Belong. So our Parks, Arts, and Recreation Director, Paul Simmons, came up and gave a bit of an overview of our parks program. We have 54 parks, almost 1,500 acres of parks land, 12 playgrounds, goodness, there's a whole list of things here. I won't go through them all. And then 5 partnered cultural events. And he really talked about how parks is a place where the community can come together and you can be who you are and it's where you belong. And we just have a really robust Parks, Arts, and Recreation program, and it is just a wonderful place to be.
Yeah, it's really cool. He talked about the Bridge program and its work with youth who might not access our regular programs, youth who are homeless or in foster care, and giving them music to express themselves. That was pretty cool. That's a very Olympia kind of approach to parks, arts, and recreation.
Indeed,
so, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So then we moved into public comment. We had 9 commenters altogether. 8 of them were in person and 1 was online. The majority of the commenters were there to talk about the decriminalization of ethogens or psilocybus, the mushroom thing, and our council members let them know that conversation, that consideration will be happening sometime in August, that they'll be considering that. The other folks who commented were there to also make comment about decry the political violence and hateful rhetoric in the world. So it's certainly a topic of consideration.
And then we moved on to the consent calendar real quick, approval of that. And then we went on to other business. And our first item was an update on the Hands-on Children's Museum expansion. So Executive Director of the museum, Patty Belmonte, shared an update on this expansion. And she noted that Hands-on Children's Museum is the most visited youth museum in the Pacific Northwest every year, with nearly 300,000 visitors in 2023. And they are just a nationwide leader in children's museums. So she shared that the expansion would be a campus approach and would include a traveling exhibit gallery, a culinary classroom, added preschool and daycare classrooms, and more outdoor space. The preliminary timeline would be 4 years with an opening in 2027. In the meantime, she and the museum board are working on a strategy to raise $35 million for this expansion, which would be a mix of public and private funding. And she will be back to council sometime later with more details on that plan as they flesh it out.
Right, and I don't know if the community knows, but the Hands-on Children's Museum building is actually a city-owned building, and so that's why the presentation to council and taking it there. And I can't believe that they have been in that building for 13 years.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, it is. I remember taking my kids to that. Oof.
My, how time flies. Then we moved on to an approval of a resolution authorizing an agreement for the Olympia Downtown Alliance to get some funding from the city for some downtown vibrancy. So that's a request for one-time funding of $285,000, and that funding would actually come out of the recent Thurston County Public Safety Levy, and it would pay for expanding the Downtown Guide program, which focuses on a welcoming downtown, and that would be through December 2025, a maintenance worker position to assist with cleanliness downtown, a graffiti abatement program that would work alongside our clean team to eradicate graffiti downtown, and the very popular tree lighting program would continue, which lights the trees October through April during our darker seasons.
Add some whimsy.
Yes. He also, while Olympia Downtown Alliance Director Todd Cutts was there, he shared some data on a recent survey of downtown business owners, and they all, the data was trending up in that they feel that downtown is going in the right direction. So it's a really positive look at what's going on downtown, and with this vibrancy funding that was approved by council, it's only going to help even more.
Right. It's good news for our downtown to hear that, well, the people that spend the most time down here are feeling like it's going in the right direction. So it's been a long haul. It's good to see. And then we moved into the final other business item, which was an update on the climate program by Dr. Pamela Braff, our magnificent director of climate programs. And she framed this update around her work into two different things, actually around the city's work, because she's very clear that her team leads this, but this is work that is across the city. And it sort of falls into two different areas. There's adaptation, which is managing the impacts of climate change that are already here, because as you can know, it's 1 billion degrees outside, it's here. And then also mitigation, which is reducing the emissions that cause climate change. So under one of the things she reminded council is that the goal that we're working for is a net zero emissions by 2024. So the things that we're doing around mitigation is the really popular Energize Olympia program, which is it's a heat pump purchase program, which supports discounted and incentives for community members to install heat pumps in their house and get a little cooling in the summer. And this is going to launch again, I think, really soon. So it's a really popular program, and you should take advantage of it if you want to, because it rocks to have a cool house. They're also doing outreach program with the library around the climate read-along, they have books and films, and you can get that reading list on the Timberline Library website. Also, regional coordination, they formed the Thurston County Mitigation Collaborative. Under adaptation, again, the things that we're doing to mitigate, I guess, is that we're implementing our sea level rise response plan. So you can learn more about all of that on the city's website.
Then council quickly went through their reports for the week and then adjourned into executive session at 9:21 p.m.
All right. There we go. We pulled that off again. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching live, you could just stay tuned. Don't turn the channel because the full replay of the council meeting is going to happen right after this, and it's going to be the council meeting we just talked about. Or if you want, you can watch it and any of our other programming on demand anytime at olytv3.com.
If you want to watch a council meeting live and in person, you could always come hang out with us most Tuesdays, 6 p.m. right here at City Hall.
We'll save a seat for you.
And with that, we're adjourned.